Again, like I say, go ahead and get your cake. It is my pleasure and honor that they can introduce our guest speaker tonight. I've known Ron for, like you say, over 20 years. And among the people here that are UAW members and work on the line, Ron is one who started out on the line in the trim shop at the Louisville Assembly Plant. He worked his way up through the ranks, also becoming the president of the local union, then the region director of Region 3, which covers the states of Indiana and Kentucky. Whenever I got to know Ron when he was president, and the thing is, he has a long memory, and he signed my pension check that this time introduced International President of UAW, Rob Gettelfinger.
Well, thank you very much. Let me start off by thanking Donna Anderson, the chair of the dinner committee and the vice chair of the Livingston County Democrats, for the opportunity to be here, as well as Matthew Evans. Thank you very, very much. It is a real pleasure to be here, and it's good to see people like Representative Alma Wheeler-Smith with us, and of course I'm always glad to see Dale and Frida, because Dale's indicated that we've known each other for a long time, and we have. And Dale is just a great guy. He's always got a sense of humor about him that brings me down a little bit, because he always finds something to pull on you. But just great people. And Dale was very active as financial secretary at the local 900 there in Wayne, and we built a great friendship over the years. And I just really appreciate the job he did. And then he advanced auditing department of the UAW, and he's just a tremendous person to know and to work with. And I thank Bob Alexander. I was glad to meet him here. Looking forward to working with you as we move forward in your campaign. And then to Kathy Carney, the chairman of the 8th, thank you very much for coming out tonight. And thank all of you for being here, because there's a lot of other places that you could be, just kind of like these 4 newspaper reporters over here. There's a lot of other places that they could be, but you folks took your time to come out here, and I'm very, very appreciative of that. And I want to begin by giving you the greetings of our entire International Executive Board and the men and women of the UAW, because it's a pleasure for us to get out and to let our union be seen, not only to our membership, but to other members of organized labor, and just as importantly, if not more importantly, to community people that don't know a lot about organized labor. And I often say that there's no other instrument to give working men and women any form of equity and justice in the workplace if it wasn't for organized labor. When you walk in the door, you're an employee at will, unless you have a union there to protect your rights. So organized labor's out doing a lot of things. And when we do something, if we do something in the political arena, and we get people elected to stand up for issues that are important to us, minimum wage as an example. Our membership didn't gain from that, but millions of Americans did. If we make improvements in workers' compensation law or unemployment insurance, health and safety laws, it's not just for union members, it's for workers in our country. So we're proud of who we are and what we stand for. You know, I think they're talking to a lot of people. I hear a lot about the economy, and I'm sure all of us know and feel the pinch when we fill up our vehicle. In fact, the other day, Vice President Jimmy Settles, our Vice President, was telling us that he had stopped to get some gasoline, and a person that was at the pump before he got to it had put in $1.79 worth of gas. And that's a world that a lot of people don't see or don't think about or don't talk about. And it seems like there's this, if you forget about people, things don't matter, but they do matter. And it's not just about the people that are well-heeled or the upper echelon in our community, in our society. It's about everybody. Everybody is just as important as the next person. But when you go in the grocery store, you witness the increase in the price of a dozen of eggs. You see what's happening to milk. We see what's happening to cost of living. And we're watching what's happening with the credit crunch and the housing market. We see all of those. And unfortunately, we have people that are leaving, like our state now. And in Wayne County and other counties where you got 18 months worth of homes on the market. What are people supposed to do that are going somewhere else to try to find a job, to live? So our economy, as we all know, is in very bad shape. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. And we could talk about a lot of them. But to us, in organized labor, one of the things that we see is a trade deficit of $815 billion. That's over $2 billion a day. Now let me ask you this. If you negotiated with anybody, and I'm not just talking about contract negotiations, I'm talking about buying a car, buying a home, or any other kind of contract that you reached with someone, and you had the odds stacked against you like that, how could you ever survive? Labor is not represented when they talk about trade deals. We're not at the bargaining table. These deals are worked out, and we continue to see what's happening to us. And in China alone, the deficit was $256 billion. And if you just look at that from the standpoint of jobs, from 01 to 06, China has cost our country 1.8 million jobs. Now there's nothing wrong with trade, but what are we getting in return? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves. And if we look for 20 consecutive months in this country, we have lost manufacturing jobs. In February, that made the 20th month, and the jobs that we lost then was 52,000. Now, everybody's not going to graduate from high school. Those that do graduate, many are not going to be able to go to college. What are we going to do for future generations? And that's where we come in. And I say this a lot about trade agreements. And incidentally, I had the privilege of representing our union in Miami when the trade ministers meeting was there, and it was led by the AFL-CIO. And with God as my witness, that was like being in a war zone in our country. Exits were blocked off of the interstates. Militia or police, arms locked, with military equipment on, tanks that shot water, everything there. Changed the parade route, this was about 3 years ago, changed the parade route up to the last minute. And I know there's always fringe groups that come in and create problems when you have a crowd like that. But look, we were American citizens. If nothing else, we had a right to protest that they were using money that was set aside for Iraq to police a trade ministers meeting in Florida. I mean, it's wrong. They don't want workers to have a voice when they talk about these trade agreements. And the other thing is we don't have an industrial policy in this country. Every other country values their industry. And if you look at us, we're the most open market in the world. So what we should do, and I'm going to borrow a line from Congresswoman Marcy Kaptur out of Ohio. She made it so plain when I heard her give a speech. She said our trade agreement should be negotiated on a postcard. Workers' rights, human rights, environmental protection, stop currency manipulation, and if either trading partner runs a deficit 2 years in a row, then you're obligated to go back and see what's wrong. Look, we're not against trade. We're for fair trade, not free trade that is stealing our jobs. I'm going to tell you, we've got some good